I want to experiment with a recipe that I found in a restaurant trade journal. If you're not familiar with those, they're journals that go out to businesses. You don't see them on the magazine racks at the grocery store. This is a recipe for lemon custard, and it's done by a chef for his restaurant. I'm intrigued by it for a couple of reasons. One is I'm curious about the texture because it's a custard, lemon custard, which I'm used to putting custard in custard cups and then you bake it in a water bath in the oven. This uses gelatin to thicken it and set it up, which makes sense for a restaurant because they need to just make food quickly. And this is a very quick recipe to make. The other thing that intrigues me about this, and I'm curious, it uses an awful lot of sour cream. This is going to be a tart lemon custard. So I'm curious to see what it's going to taste like and what the texture is going to be like. It's really easy to make, and you'll see that in the video. So let's make this lemon custard. I have here 1/4 cup of cold water, tap water, and then 1 packet. This is 1/4 ounce, about whatever that is as far as grams go. That's 7 grams. I'm going to sprinkle the gelatin over the top. Set this aside to let that dissolve, and I'll be warming that up later on to finish the dissolving. I have a couple of lemons here from my neighbor's tree. I need 2 teaspoons of lemon zest and 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. So I'm going to zest these. So there's the lemon zest. Now from my 2 lemons, I'm going to chop this up because this needs to be minced up really fine. That should be good enough. Let's see how much I've got there. There's 1. And there's 2. So there's my lemon zest. And then finally what I need is, I mentioned, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. That might be enough right there, but I'm going to do the other one. And then I'll measure afterwards. One nice thing about having a neighbor with a lemon tree is I always get tree-ripened fresh lemons. They're great to cook with. And for lemonade, which I drink a lot during the summer. That's more than a tablespoon, so I'll measure that when I need it. That's it as far as the prep work. This is a really easy recipe. Now I'm ready to start combining all of my ingredients, and then I'm going to heat it on the stove. I did heat my gelatin up in the microwave just to turn it into a liquid because it was kind of a gum once those granules dissolved. This is my 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. And then I need 1 tablespoon. Where's my measuring? Here they are. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. A little bit more. That's enough. Okay. And then 1 cup. This is 1 cup or about 237 milliliters of heavy cream. That's going to turn that gelatin into a gel again because this is cold from the refrigerator. I'm going to stir that in. And look how that's, you can't see it, but I can. Or you can't see it very well, but it's all thickened again from the cold. 1 cup of heavy cream. 1/2 cup of sugar. This is regular granulated sugar. If you do things by weight on the in the metric system, that's about 100 grams. 1 3/4 cups of sour cream. By liquid measurement, it's 414 milliliters. By weight, this is 13 ounces or 370 grams. I love sour cream. Get all that mixed in. And then this is 3/8 of a cup, 88 milliliters, 3 ounces, 85 grams of mascarpone. I make my own mascarpone. I don't buy it in the store, it's too expensive. And it's so easy to make. If you want to know how to make mascarpone, on my website, in the recipe archive, under basics, you'll see my recipe procedure for making mascarpone, and then there's a link to a YouTube video. And then finally, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I know each one of these eyedropper things is a 1/4 teaspoon. So 4 of those vanilla extract is in there. All right, meantime, I am heating a pan on the stove with a little bit of water in the bottom because I'm going to warm this up in it. You'll see that in a moment. So you can see I've got a little bit of water boiling in the bottom of that pan. I'm setting up basically a double boiler. The original recipe called for putting this mixture in a bowl and setting it over boiling water, simmering water. I think that's how they do it in restaurants if I've seen enough TV shows. I'm just going to use a double boiler because it's easier. I don't have to use a towel to grab the bowl. This pan has a handle on it. So I just need to warm this up, get it hot, mostly because I need to soften that gelatin that's in there. It gelled when I poured that cold cream in there. And then I'll be ready to distribute this into custard cups. I have some custard cups set aside. These are 5 ounces roughly. I mean, they'll hold 6 ounces if you fill them to the point where they spill over. I'm going to call these 5 ounces or 148 milliliters each. I heated my custard just to the point where it was well melted and softened. Doesn't need to be cooked because there's no raw ingredients in this, like no raw egg. And I'm going to estimate that I'm going to get 6 to 8 out of this. Clean it up here. Trying to keep things neat. All right, then I have some plastic wrap here. I'm going to cover these with plastic wrap. Like so. Then I'm going to continue on with my other cups, my ramekins, and then get these into the refrigerator. So there they are. These are ready to go into the refrigerator. I got 6 ramekins of custard, and there was just enough in the pan that with a tablespoon I got to taste it. It's got a really nice flavor. It's a little bit tart. It's not overly tart. Nice lemon flavor, not too sweet. I don't like things too sweet, but if you like a really sweet dessert, you could increase, I suppose, the sugar to 3/4 of a cup, or about 150 grams. So these I'm going to put in the refrigerator now overnight, and meanwhile I have to make my syrup to go over the top. I had to go up the street, get some more lemons. It's so nice having a lemon tree right up the street. Marge says, take as many lemons as you want whenever you want them. I always have plenty of lemons. Hopefully I can show you this. I think you can see that. These lemons are so ripe that the seeds inside are already turning green and starting little sprouts, new lemon trees. That's how ripe these lemons are on the tree. For the syrup, I'm using 1 1/4 cups, which is 250 grams of sugar. And then I have 1 1/4 cups, roughly 300 milliliters of water. And then I have 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. And then this is 1/4 cup of an orange flavored liqueur. I'm using Cointreau for my liqueur. All right, I have to move this onto the stove and start heating this to dissolve that sugar, and then I'm going to thicken this down. You can see my syrup there is coming to a boil. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just start to boil this water off. I have a thermometer, a digital thermometer close by. I'm going to heat this up to a temperature of 230 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 110 degrees Celsius. If you don't have a thermometer, basically you want to thicken this. This is water right now. The sugar's all dissolved, but it's basically a water, so I need to thicken this to a syrup. All right, checking my temperature here. There it is, 230 degrees. Turn the heat off. I'm going to let this cool down now, and that'll be ready for garnishing my custards tomorrow. Here we are the next day. My custards have set up. I got to show you the syrup that I made yesterday. Look at the color of that. Beautiful golden color. Flows like honey, nice and thick. I'm going to try to unmold one of these. I have some water heating in a skillet. I'm hoping I can soften the gelatin around the edge and it maybe will come out easily, but I think these are good looking enough, these little ramekins, that they can be eaten. The custard can be eaten right out of the ramekin as a dessert. So I'm going to show you a few ways that I came up with in the meantime to garnish these besides the syrup that I made. So unwrapping one of these. Beautiful. My syrup. Got a spoon here. I tasted this, by the way. It's deliciously sweet. You can put as much or as little on there as you want. I don't like things too sweet, so I'm not going to put a lot on there. Okay. And then my first idea was, this is some pecans that I roasted this morning and then chopped them up. So put some roasted pecans on top. If you wanted, you could cover the whole top with the pecans, but I want to show some of the syrup around the edge there. Another ramekin here. And for this, I have some of those pecans. Again, I roasted them and I took out the ones that looked the best. As far as these weren't broken up, they were whole, not too many flaws on them. Put those on top, like so. Little starfish pattern there. And then put syrup over the top so that the pecans are kind of buried in the syrup. Kind of gives you this like pecans under glass look. Gonna swirl that around, fill up all the gaps. Beautiful. Look at that. See, that's a nice look. I like that. Another one. This is a little tiny mandarin orange. I'm going to take the segments out and put some segments on top. Like that. And then again with the syrup. Gives a nice fruity look to the custard. For this one, I'm going to put the syrup on top first. Like so. And then what I have here is some blackberries and some raspberries. And I'm just going to place some berries on there. However many you want. fresh fruit on the top. So there are some ideas. So I got to taste one of these now. Get some of that syrup. Ooh, the custard has a nice texture to it. It's on the firm side. Very smooth. Nice citrusy flavor. I got to taste it with a raspberry. It's very delicate. Got a nice delicate flavor. Yeah, so you get both flavors. You get that citrus flavor, but you also get that raspberry. That's the sauce. The sauce is sweet and citrusy. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy my lemon custard. For a printable PDF copy of this recipe with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com, and look on the home page or in the recipe archive.